and check all the windshield wipers on your heart.
I'm here with Luke and Cameron of Vernon band Paperboy. We're going to chat music. Let's get to it. Guys, before we jump into the interview, maybe if you tell us what you do in the band. We'll start with you, Luke.
I play guitar and I sing.
Perfect.
I play drums and percussion.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. So for the guys out there who aren't familiar with your music, maybe if you could describe your sound in one sentence for us.
Oh boy.
Everyone always asks us this, and it's like the hardest thing to pigeonhole.
I don't know. I've kind of adopted the
Rock and soul.
Rock and soul is one of them, or just like hardcore soul. For any of the kind of younger generation that knows what the hardcore moniker means.
I like to call it soul with a heavy slant.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
With a slight to the head.
Yeah, there's always. I think soul is
at the forefront.
Yeah.
You guys are a bit though. You sort of mix genres a little bit though. It's hard to pin you like that.
Big time, and that's why it's so tough for us.
I usually and I don't know if I come off as an idiot when I say it, is just say, come out and see us.
Yeah.
See the live experience.
Yeah, because like the show we just played. I mean, we had like a rock and roll, like a straight '50s rock and roll song. We've got like a heavy metal, like Black Sabbath-y song, and then we've got 3 soul songs. Like you can't really.
Yeah, and to me, soul is
so
like.
So for like 10 sentences, I think.
Yeah. No, that works.
We can move on.
That works.
So where did the name Paperboy come from?
As I'm sure most people from Kelowna are familiar with Fields of Green. Mm-hmm. We used to play around with them quite a bit back in the day, and they had this one song, which I guess is on their new EP, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called Paperboy.
And it kind of the early version of that, at least that we heard, I was always just so stunned, and I loved just how simple that idea of just a one name, and then there's all the kind of things that you can play with the image of that. Like we've got a song called "Read All About It" and "Extra," and it at least to me it's kind of fun, but maybe in my own head it's not super cheesy.
Yeah. For a while we built like a whole persona around the Paperboy.
Yeah.
We were like writing songs under the guise that this was like the Paperboy doing, he had a job to do, and it was extra read all about it, and like we sort of used it as a recurring theme a fair bit.
So you're moving away from that now, or?
I don't know. It was a really big concept to start with, and I think that's what really kind of pushed us. Because we developed a set pretty quickly just to be able to play shows, and I think that was kind of the vehicle to move a lot of songs very quickly through our writing process.
We played our first show a month after becoming the band and recorded our first full-length album a month and a half.
Right, and it took you 2 days as well, right?
Yeah, we recorded all the instrument tracks in 7 hours.
It was a pretty intense thing.
So that's just to get this right for the people. That's the first week on the job, right?
Yeah,
that's the song.
Yeah, and that was kind of just a tongue-in-cheek. Like, man, we're still figuring this whole thing out. Like, and I guess to answer the question, it still crops up every once in a while, and I still like playing with the imagery and the ideas of Paperboy, and I kind of romanticize the aesthetic of those like 1920s newsy boys, and they're so dirty sometimes, and I think they just had a really brutal kind of life. So it's just kind of fun to go back and forth with that.
Well, I was going to say there's a throwback element to the
totally.
And like we styled ourselves that way too, right? Like our first 2 years of shows, we always had dress pants, white shirts, suspenders, and the hats.
Actually, I've seen a really cool promotional picture of the trio, and you.
Yeah, totally. They're just super hot.
They're hard to play, and it was not a good idea.
Very hot.
And we toughed it out for a long time.
I think we paid our dues on that one.
Yeah, that was tough.
So what do you wear now? Just casual?
We always try to match whatever we do, because we both like the idea, like every, when it's the throwback thing, all the old bands that we really, feel strongly about, they all had some sort of motif that each of them carried. So even if we are wearing plaid shirts, we at least all wear plaid shirts and jeans or something. Just because we like to be up there looking like an ensemble and kind of setting ourselves apart from just somebody that just walks off the street on the stage.
Well, as someone who enjoys music and sees a lot of music. I really appreciate when bands put thought into the aesthetic. So what the record cover looks like, what they look like when they're on stage. It's a hugely important part of the artistic sort of.
Yeah, well, and you know, when we first started playing too, a lot of people really commented on that part of it, more so than our music, unfortunately. You know, they'd see like us in the suspenders and shirts and like, hey, you know, like you guys were in the band. They recognized the look, and that was kind of what we were going for.
Yeah, it was kind of a way to embed ourselves into people's kind of psyche without really having to remember our music. Right?
It's like, oh, those guys, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, totally, right? Yeah, it looking back, it was a little gimmicky, but I think it worked. I guess at the end of the day, that's all that matters. But.
Yeah. Now people remember it for you flailing around and breaking things.
Yeah.
That's cool too. Smashing my drums with a guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, more than once.
Yeah.
Just come to the Fed anytime we play.
So you do it? Is that like a regular occurrence then, smashing things up and?
Not like Who style. But
No, yeah. It's I don't know. We were talking about it on the ride down, and just when we play, like it's. I don't know. I get to that point where I think we've played our songs long enough where I'm almost just kind of listening to them now and not really. I love that point when I don't have to think any longer when I'm playing and I can just kind of be there in the moment. And I've never been one to sit still when I'm playing, and so like motion is really tied into how I interpret music as well. So it's sometimes it is me smashing camp cymbal in the middle of a really chaotic passage or something, but I don't know. It's like therapy for me.
Somebody don't call.